Podcast clip.
Yeah, it's again, the subtleties of frequency and vibration. Most people like the sunshine and rainbows version of it,
Mm-hmm.
and not a lot of people want to actually look at the wounds that keep them from actually being aligned and manifesting their divine masculine or feminine, and what that actually means. Because a lot of people want to blame the toxic this, toxic that, but don't want to look themselves, don't want to look their own work or lack thereof.
Or it's a past life or a parallel life or something else.
They're making
But if you're
externalizing,
if your parallel or past lives are even coming up and you're remembering them, they're at the surface. They're showing you where you've had this wound, well, quote unquote, before.
Yep.
But they're also showing you where your power lies.
Yes,
because
I
it's
know.
your
Yeah,
personal power.
Yeah.
It's not that you didn't have any then.
That's right. That's right.
You and I have talked about,
It's the
what's
your
choice? Even right now,
choice of what you chose to participate in and why. That is actually being mirrored at you through every single experience and event in your life.
Yeah.
And again, this goes to how we are aligning with our divine masculine or feminine, because if the more aligned we are, the less drama we're going to have, or not even drama, but won't respond to it. We'll be confused when dramas happen around us and be like, what's going on?
What's happening?
What's going on? Because when you actually step out of patterns and you stop giving energy to that, you take energy back, and that's how you align with your divine masculine or divine feminine. And to go back to how we started, we were talking about like twin flames and a lot of confusion. It's like, the person that is your twin flame in that moment, say when you're in your 20s, will be different than the person that you attract as a soulmate or a twin flame in your 30s or 40s or 50s. Because you're doing different work at those stages in your life. And the same person that was there to help you in your 20s might not be able to help you in your 30s.
Yeah.
And this is why other soulmates and other
you can have soulmates. Like there's a lot of, and it's coming out more, which I'm glad to see, is that sometimes a soulmate is not a person that you're supposed to have a great, wonderful romantic relationship with.
That's right.
Sometimes a soulmate is someone that you've known, and you're not going to have a great relationship with them because they're going to show you.
Yeah, they're gonna trigger you. They're gonna
trigger you. They're going to push you. They're going to
challenge you to grow,
and you may not be able to grow with that person at all. But that doesn't mean, because I know my ex-husband and I both know that we've had past lives together.
Yeah.
I mean, I can remember when he told me that when he first saw me, he was like, oh, he's like, oh, I dreamt about her. So he used to be a little precognitive, but we didn't have a wonderful relationship. But I always had this feeling that, well, we're supposed to do something different this time. And so we ended up doing that, building it differently. And, like we said before, I've told you before too, is that I didn't divorce him because I didn't love him, but because I loved myself and him more than to keep putting us through what we were going through.
Yeah.
That was a tough thing.
It is. That's why I got divorced, because my ex-wife and I we were going through the same patterns. Like, no, we deserve to be happy. We deserve to stop this pattern.
Yeah.
And the only way to do that was for us to get divorced and separate and not be together at all. And it was really, really hard because we got along, we had the same sense of humor, we could hang out and spend a lot of time together, we liked a lot of the same things, but the patterns, the ego patterns and the shadow patterns were so symbiotic. We were just like every 6 months, it was a catastrophe every 6 months.
Yeah.
And we spin up and spin down, spin up, spin down. And it's just like, no, we need to stop this. We need to have our own lives. And, it's a hard thing to realize that it's like, okay, this is learning experience. The learning experience is like, there's this compatibility. Absolutely. But you know what? The way our patterns are, they're symbiotic. They're not healthy.
They're not,
Yeah.
They're showing you. They're showing you what you still have that's not healthy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, you and I have talked about too about how many times we've almost run into each other.
Oh my God.
Here
in the city, at the university. I know.
And it's like crazy how many times. But when I think about where I was 10 years ago, well, no, I met you 10 years ago there.
Well, where we both were.
10 years ago, it wasn't like all rainbows and sunshine when we first met. We had a lot. There's still a lot of work to do.
Oh, it took us years just to
Like,
like hash through a
yeah,
lot of
to
stuff.
hash through a lot of stuff,
Yeah.
which we wanted to do that because we knew we're like, no, we can get the most amount of growth
Yeah.
if we become friends and we
Yeah.
figure this shit out.
That's right. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
And then